player movement rumors. Have you heard any of these, Uli?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't really, but here's the thing. I can't really speak on it because I get in the trenches, you know what I mean? And I've been known to be, to try to recruit some players from time to time. So I can't, I got to stay professional and make sure that everybody knows when I talk to them that it's not going to be broadcasted on Tour Life. So this is all this segment, but I will, if it's something I don't know, I will jump in for sure.
Okay. Well, if you're watching live right now, guys, if Uli, you can really dissect Yuli's face here and try to get a read off of what I'm saying. Maybe he gives some tells away of what I'm saying. So, all right.
Wait,
Alden Harris to Discmania.
Let me put my poker face on.
Alden Harris to Discmania. This was brought to me from Hunter.
This is kind of fire looking though. Sorry, go ahead.
You look like the Unabomber, that poker player.
The Unabomber?
I've been the Unabomber. Ooh, I like it. So Alden Harris to Discmania. This was brought to Hunter and Trevor's attention because someone said they saw that he joined a Discmania collector group on Facebook. So that
happens every year? That's so funny.
Was
These little things happen.
Was that something he didn't really think was going to be noticed, and no one thought he was going to get caught? Now, I did obviously DM him and say, Alden, what's going on here? Do you have anything to say about this? And he said, I can confirm that means absolutely nothing. He also said, once he has the slightest idea of where I'll be next year, I'll come on Tour Life and tell you.
Oh,
so we might get breaking news. Yeah, we might get breaking news from Alden. As of right now, he's going towards the direction that he has no idea where he's going to end up.
Here's the thing. All right, I'll jump in because I don't know anything about Alden, but I do know this. Dude,
he's a jokester.
You don't go on Discmania Collectors Group just to look around. Unless you're trying to message a couple people because your homie Babcock is telling you this is a good run, that's a good run, these are rare. And here's the other thing. Discmania, their discs, they come out in they don't have a lot of the good stuff. You know what I mean? The collector page is big time because a lot of the runs are very rare that Simon threw and the Eagle threw and all those things. And
Prodigy's kind of the same way, right? Like there's certain runs that people know with Prodigy that it's like you got to try to get those.
I will say that over the years, Prodigy has come out with a lot of discs, and that's not. I feel like their collector market has kind of gone down a little bit because of that reason, because their discs have improved. Discmania, they just have a lot of old. Their plastic that they come up with every year seems like there's one run. And this probably happens with superstars like Simon and Eagle. They throw one thing, and then everybody wants that one thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my take. I think I'm going to say Alden, good try. He's going to Discmania.
The only thing that gives me pause with it is the fact that he has been known to troll. He has been known to do some stuff for his social media. So it's not out of the craziness that maybe he
might adopt me.
Yeah, maybe he was just bored one day and was like, hey, I bet if I join this Facebook group, I can get people to think that I'm going to Discmania. Who knows? But
hey, if he starts joining other places, then we can really dive maybe next week.
You remember when we found out, I think it was last year, we found out that Dynamic Disc was creating, I think people had found out Dynamic Disc had created a Ricky Wysocki page before it was announced.
Yeah.
And then I think they freaked out. So then they started just creating random pages for every player. Yeah. They had a Paul Macbeth one. They probably had one for you. And so they were trying to be oh no, we just have these pages for everyone. Yeah. When in fact they were
amateur stuff right there, man. Amateur stuff. We see right through that.
Yeah. Don real quick wants to know what am I doing? I'm with Discraft for another year. So I'm signed through the end of 2024. Uli, what's your current
signed through? I'm signed through next year as well.
Okay, so me and
So
Uli
this
are both
year
signed
and next year, I think. I signed a 5-year.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're through 2025.
Mhm.
You have 2 more years. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Next one on is Ganon Burr. Ganon Burr has been seen.
Oh, and I will say I'm a discrafter for life. It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Gannon Burr has been seen offloading discs on Prodigy Facebook groups. So he's selling a whole bunch of his discs. There's a whole bunch of now. I have seen him do this in the past as well.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, the last time I saw him doing this, he was also trying to get out of his Prodigy contract. So I don't know if that really holds water of like, hey guys, no, he did this last year. It's like, well, yeah, he was doing this last year, and I think he thought he was getting out of his contract. So
listen, if I was Prodigy, I would do everything in my power to sign that guy. I would.
You got to keep him. And Isaac, right? I mean, that
not just because it's Gannon, but all the stuff that happened before, and then you guys come to terms with him staying for another year. It would really look good if you figured out a way to keep him and be like, no, we squashed all that stuff, and it was to the point where you sign him for another year. If you don't, it's just like one of those things where he was forced to be on the team this year, and then now he's bouncing. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. If I was Prodigy, I would be like, what's the number? Give me the number and let me sign the check.
And we'll make it happen. Yeah. I mean,
right? I don't know.
Yeah, I think if I'm Prodigy right now, my focus is on Gannon and Isaac. And then if I have to let other people go to create room for that, then I think I'm fine with it. I mean, if I'm Prodigy, I'm almost like fine with just having those 2 guys. Like that's my team. Gannon and Isaac. Like that's
100%. And Kale. You got to keep Kale.
Well, sure. I wasn't really. I mean, I think Kale's almost kind of like ownership, right? I almost view him as kind of a.
But he's still a player, and he still has contracts. So all those guys have contracts.
For sure, I view him and like Will Shoestrick. I view those guys a little bit different than just a another player.
I hear that. Yep.
We'll see kind of what ends up going with that. I think Gannon also said that once he knows what's happening, he's willing to come on here and kind of talk to us about where he's going and what that process and all that stuff look like as well. Next up, Eagle McMahon. Now this was brought to my attention by someone, I think in the Discord, or maybe it was on Twitter, and I think they make a really good point. So Eagle just got done getting his shoulder surgery. He ended up going on Instagram Live and kind of talking about the process. And he's saying right now, 4 to 6 months is where he's looking at as far as recovery time. And he's even leaning more towards like the 5 to 6 months. So he doesn't even think 4 is in there. He's also very aware that next year the season's super backloaded. So he's not super concerned about trying to come back early because he knows all the big tournaments are later in the season. So we might not see Eagle play in an event for, another half year from now, right? That makes me kind of think he's not leaving Discmania, because if he's not throwing a disc, he said he's not going to be able to pick up a disc or really throw a disc for 3 to 4 months. If he's not doing any of that,
get your company check.
It almost makes me feel, it makes me feel like he's comfortable with his disc. He's comfortable with like the recovery process, coming back, and then he doesn't have to learn a whole new bag. To me, that seems like that would be a lot to ask, is come back in the middle of the season and also learn a new bag at the same time. I think that might be a little bit too much to ask. And so this leads me to believe that I think he's staying with Discmania. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
So we'll see if that ends up happening, but he's also, the other big name outside of Gannon that their contract's up at the end of the year. Speaking of surgeries though, Kona also had her surgery. I don't know if you saw, has a crazy scar, man. That stuff, that is wild. And it looks like everything kind of went well as well. So both Eagle, Kona, we are wishing you guys a quick and speedy and healthy recovery with both of your guys' surgeries.